Okay, let's discuss chart of accounts. Now, an important part of an accounting system. Okay, before we go on, this is where we're going to end it. There's no problem. Alright, so this is where we will end the training for today. But what you'll be advised to do after this is relate what we have discussed now to your own business. You can probably meet her, ask her, and all that. So, are there areas in terms of customer, supplier, product that you think this training we've done now cannot cover or doesn't talk about? For instance, you might actually discuss with her, so there is section that is very important and all that. So you look at the areas that we've shared. Oh, this should to take care of, this should take care of it. If there are areas that I cannot take care of, note them down so that when we will come back tomorrow, we'll review them, because we always try to make our training tailored to that client's business. It's very important. And all that. Like the way we've explained now, there might be specific areas of your business that you may not have covered. So that's how we allow you to ask questions, discuss. Like if you're the core accountant now, probably person would have asked more questions than I expect, but because you're starting, so it's always important for you to meet her, discuss with her, and so if there are areas that you feel they are not qualified, sit down, because you want to make this training to be tailored to your business. So chart of account is very important. Now, when you go to a financial report and you see an accounting software and you see let's say sales of software appearing under the income section of the profit and loss, sometimes people will think the reason it's appearing is because when you created the account you said it's sales, that's why. No, an accounting software has been programmed in a way that every system has what we call account type. In summary, the chart of account is an account that categorizes your transaction to either an income, expenses, assets, liability, or equity. That's also because every transaction you do will either be one or more of this particular categorization that I just made now. It's either you are entering an income transaction, an expense transaction, or relating to assets, liability, and all that. Now, this account type also has been mapped in a way that each of these categorization already have their own reports where they go to. For instance, any transaction that passes through an income head, we already understand that when you go to a report, you always find that in P&L. Any transaction that passes through an expense head, when you go to your report, you also see it in P&L. Any transaction that relates to your asset or liability, you already know where to find it and all that. Now the question is that if I enter my bank, does it mean that system will just pick the bank and take it to the banking section of your balance sheet and all that? No, it doesn't work like that. The reason the system is able to map that bank to that statement is because at the point of entering that bank, you selected the account type as bank. If I call the account name Access Bank and I select bank as the account type, the reason the system will map it to this balance sheet statement is not because I entered it as Access Bank. The reason is because the account type I selected is bank. So account type determine where an account head will appear in your financial report. If I selected income, account name Access Bank, and I select income, where will it appear in your profit and loss? Because the account type is income. So in adding account head in your system, you need to understand the account type to select. For instance, if we're incurring expenses, maybe like let's say service charge on this building now, service charge is an expenses, we pay it on a monthly basis. If I select that account type to be income, system will not post it to the right section of your report, which will be wrong. So any transaction that passes through that account name as service charge, system will be taking it as if it's an income transaction because the account type we selected is income. So it's important for you to know these account types and how to map your account head to the right account type. The reason this is important again is that there are times where new expenses comes up, new income transaction comes up. So your ability to map this transaction to the appropriate account type will help you to be able to generate the right reports. For instance, you can do a new business with a new company and money comes in. If the money is coming in, depending on how it's coming and all that, an account type will help you to know the right place to map that transaction. So that's where the chart of account comes in. Chart of account is the backbone of every accounting software. This is what the system you use to build your P&L, your cash flow, and every other statement you need to know how your business is doing. So if I go to see a chart of account, and also QuickBooks already has a preloaded chart of account in the system. Now, in developing an accounting software or customizing an accounting software for businesses in different industries, it is your chart of account that the major customization comes in. If I'm going to deploy for, let's say, a credit and thrift cooperative society, now you know that their own chart of account is going to be different from your own, because what they will be focused on, one is we want to be to know how much money we have collected from our members. We want to know the loan that we have disbursed to members. We want to know people that are owing us. We want to know the interest paid so far. We also want to know the status of all the investments. Some corporate society go as much as also to start a business, so that they'll be funding their corporate society. Some of them will also buy land as an asset and all that. So in this case, they also want to know whether they are making money or not. Now, if you be able to look at each of these needs, this particular need is tailored to their own business. If I come down to your own business, you don't need to know how much people are owing, because people are not contributing any money. And about your own, you want to know what are the quotes that we have sent so far, the sales we've made so far via invoices, the clients that are owing us, the suppliers we bought from that were yet to pay, the expenses that have been. Because see, so if you go to other businesses too, like a real estate company, you will see different thing entirely. Now, this whole customization all boils down to your ability to be able to customize this chart of account. And in summarizing everything, if you are able to know the right type, either it's an asset head, liability head, income head, expenses or not, it all solves them. So when businesses approach me and they say, oh, this is what I want to do, I want to buy QuickBooks, the first thing I ask them, what line of business are you? Your line of business will give me an idea of how your chart of accounts will be, because if you're able to get chart of account right, the whole accounting is done already. So that's what chart of account does. Now, if I go down here, you will see that the first transaction we enter, the first setup we enter, they have formed our receivable already, which is our account receivable. Now, you cannot enter this account receivable as 2.8 million naira. I've already told you why. The system will ask you to enter them one after the other, but that means by customers and their balances. So the summation of your receivables that give you this one is always there as a default. So this account head you see there, they are all there as a default. Now there are account head that you will look at and say, oh, this account head is not here. For instance, we incur PACN charges, but they are not here as expenses. How do I enter the PACN here? The first question you ask, what account type is PACN? The account type is expenses. So meaning that if I want to add it in the system, I'll select the account type as expenses. So all I will need to do is click new, category, account type. So I'll come here. It's not cash and cash equivalent, it's not non-current asset, it's not payable, it's not credit card. Then you scroll down, okay, you can see is expenses. So you select expenses here. Now detail type. Now most time detail type, I really do not always have any specific areas I choose here and all that. You can, but most times I always call it office and admin expenses. Then in the account name, I'll change it to PHCN. PSCN. Now, if I'm adding PSCN, the reason this system will map all transactions under this PSCN as expenses is not because I entered PSCN. The reason is this account type, which is expense. So account type determines where it will appear in your report. So anytime you want to create a new account head, always ask yourself what the account type is. It's very important. So you don't just come in and say, oh, category, any, because I remember when I did setup for a construction company, on reviewing the chart of account alone, I've not even checked their report. I've not even, just looking at the chart of account alone told me that this account is wrong completely, because already they've already told me that we cannot rely on this particular QuickBooks for reports. Some people are even telling us that QuickBooks is not good, that we should change to Sage. I said it's not a QuickBooks problem, it's your accountant's problem. They don't understand QuickBooks. Look at what I'm saying. They want to create a name. Okay, let's imagine that someone is going to the bank to pay money. What they will do, they will add a new account type, they will add the name of the person as an account name, then they will now select account type bank. So because of that, they now have multiple banks. So anytime someone goes in to pay, they want exactly. So I think I saw more than 200 names as banks, and that's wrong. The opening balance, you enter the person name, the amount the person is paying to that bank. So if you open the balance sheet alone, it's like the whole name of the people that have paid the money to that bank are now appearing as bank. because the account type is bank, and that's wrong and all that. So we have to do a clean up and all that. So it all boils down to understanding chart of account. If you understand the chart of account, all you need to do is enter the account, the bank name, select the account type as bank. Anybody, anytime someone pays you money, you go to record deposit and pay the money to the bank. But they were not trained. A lot of people want to use their own accounting to see how they can maneuver the system, but it doesn't work like that. System has, even though it's still an accounting software and accounting, but there are still standards, there are still areas you need to understand to guide you in transactions entry. So the account type here is expenses. Then we click save and close. Now, in terms of your revenue to or your income, now your income is may not just be sales. You may look at it and say that sales is somehow. We don't want to use sales. We want to turn it to maybe cyber income or cyber security income or consulting income and all that. So you may have your own specific name. You don't just go to the system and say, there is nothing like that though. That means this system is not working. No, it's just for you to go to your chart of accounts, add new. You go to add new, then first select the account type. You go down here, what account type is it? Income. If it's an income other than the main business, then you select other income, but since it's your main business, you select income here. Then we'll go back here, review. So I can just call it service or fee income, but that's not the name I want to use. Under the name, you now change it to maybe cyber security services. Now system will recognize this as an income not because of the name cybersecurity services, but because the account type is income. So any transaction that passes through this should be appearing under your profit or loss. So that's now sometimes you might have several account heads under the same account type and you want to map them. For instance, if you don't want to call it cybersecurity, we can say service income. Now services. Then under services, you now have cybersecurity and all that. You understand? So all we need to do first is we can add all we need to do first is we need to add the name as services first. Then I'll click save and close here. So if we go down under the income head here, you see services. Then under services now we have cyber securities and all that. So you go to account new, so new account type. You cannot add two account here with different account types as a sub account. For instance, one is income and you want to add another one, you now call it bank. So they must be the same account type. So the first one is income. You select income, then service. The under service income, you can have cyber security. So now be a sub account of services, because you want to group everything under services. Now this entry, if I don't want to save this and close, maybe I have another entry I want to enter again. Instead of saving this start all over again, you can always use save and new. Just click this white arrow here, it will appear. Click save and new to save this and still open this window. You can see, so you don't have to close the window. Then you go back to account name, account type is still income, then that detail service. So here I can call support, I can call it IT support, then sub account of service, then click save and just like that. But if I want to save and close it, then I can close it. Then if you go back to your chart of account here now, you'll see that under services we now have cyber security and IT support. They are all income. So first you create this, second you create this sub account of this, third you create this sub account of this. So that's how you group account. Now an important area where this is also important is in your bank service charge. You have different account with different banks, and I don't always advise my clients to lump the service charges together. So create an account name called bank service charge, then create individual bank as a sub account of the bank service charge. This is how you do that. You go to new. Their account type will be what? For bank service charge.
Expenses.
Yes, expenses. So you can see already we have one here, bank service, bank charges. So now because we already have bank charges here, let me trace bank charges from here under expenses, bank charges. So all I need to add now is the name of the bank. So first I can say access sub account of bank service charge, save and new. And then second I'll add another one, expenses, bank service charge. Then I can call this GTB, a sub account, or I can probably enter here direct follow bank service charge. You can save and new. Then you can add another account type under the bank service charge. Then you can call this FCMB. Then bank service charge. From done, you can click this arrow and click save and close. So under my expenses, I should see, you can see bank service charge and all that. Now the advantage is that it will help you to see how much you're paying each of your banks as service charge. You can even compare the charges across all banks to see, oh, it's like we're paying more as service charge to this bank and all that. Even when you want to do your reconciliation too, you also need to split your bank service charge across all the banks. So this is how to create your chart of accounts. So another thing again you should do, which is although I don't want to discuss that now, I want to see I like giving it out as a test for you to for me to be sure that you understand it. Now, what if you want to create a loan? If you want to create a loan, how do you create that? If you want to add a loan, let's say you secured a loan from a big firm and you want to add that loan and the interest on that loan. How do you add that on the system using chart of accounts? Add both the loan and the interest rate.